Good morning everyone. We'll start with a little bit of a different type of a video. We'll have a look inside one of these phones. The one we're going to start with is what by outside it looks like a 706. That was the BT or the GPO 706 series of phones which were brought out in about the 60s. I remember it well. I was a bit younger then, but I was certainly about, and I had joined the post office or the GPO, and this type of phone took over from the Bakelite jobs, which are quite valuable now, the 332s, and before that the 232s, and before that the candlestick, which I can put a candlestick up and a 332, but I haven't got a 232. That's still to be got. Anyhow, I go off the subject. When this 706 came out, it was used for their standard phone on installations in the house, in offices, in businesses, you name it. That's where it went. It was made in several types with different buttons on the top. I can point to where the buttons would be or are, and they'd be used for various plan sets, various ways of interconnecting, party lines and so forth. But other manufacturers, or not necessarily other manufacturers, manufacturers of these phones included GEC, Plessey, ATM. They also made phones for their own systems, and these systems were not allowed to be connected to the GPO systems. It was called prohibition, and if they tried to actually connect an extension that was a private extension to the GPO system, a relay would switch in and it would be cut off. Anyhow, I'm going on too much. This phone at the moment is a GEC phone. It was made for a private system. We'll have a little look inside. I know it's got a standard type of number. That was on there by the previous people. I don't even know where Hope Valley is, but it would never have been a GPO phone. As I say, a lot of these phones you pick up on eBay, they've gone through various hands and things have been changed, but this one is pretty genuine, even down to the BT, the block terminal. Don't know where it'll show up, but that block terminal has got GEC written on it, as opposed to the GPO. Someone's fitted on the modern modular type plug. It's all working. Let's have a look inside. And that is where the difference begins. Let's have a little look at the back. Always have a look inside under the case, and with this one I'll put it in the sunlight so it can be seen. We got a lovely circuit diagram. These are always handy. If the phone goes wrong or you want to find out how to wire it up, you've got your diagram there. So there's your circuit diagram. They don't always have these, but in this case this one does. Now a little look inside. What have we got? Let's remove the dial. We'll unclick that. I've laid the dial on the side. It's the normal type of dial, showing no numbers or no letters. They are around the outside of the phone, and as it's used for a private system, letters weren't needed. Let's have a look inside. Now, those of you that are familiar with a normal 706 will immediately notice that this is different. You might not know straight away just how different it is, but it is different. Let's bring this down a bit. I had it on, was fixed to the wrong focus. There we are. Now we've got the bell gongs, your bell coils. Those are exactly the same as a normal 706. A capacitor, that is the same, and in fact sometimes these actual capacitors had GPO written on them, which means when they were making these phones, obviously they got mixed up. But not to worry, this one I don't think has. It's probably got the name, there is a name on it, but it's hasn't got GPO. Go on the other side, this part here, what I'm pointing to, I could point with that actually, is the induction coil, or the anti-sidetone induction coil. It's that coil that helps to balance out the circuit, but also provides a little bit of sidetone. Now, sidetone is the ability for you to hear, and you're speaking into the transmitter, you can hear a little bit back in the earpiece. This more or less says that the phone's alive, and it has the psychological effect of making you speak up. Now, my voice is quite loud, and I think I'd probably be heard a long way away, being a bit like a foghorn. I know that. Might be because I'm partly deaf. Well, I seem to be deaf at times. So we will see how it goes. Also, turning round to the back, you'll notice where there is normally a regulator, the regulator would fit into this part here. Let me point. I hope it's showing up okay. There we are. In there would normally go a regulator. It fits in with U-points. These are called U-points. In this case, to cut the cost down, it's not there. Well, really, it wasn't needed. As I say, these are used for internal work, and as such, they wouldn't have been needed, because it was all the circuits are perhaps within a building or something like that, so you wouldn't need it. So they save a bit of money by not incorporating it. But what they have done is to wire in, permanently wired in, some resistors. There's a couple of resistors there, and they are there to join up or connect up so the thing works. Instead of putting the card in, which is the regulator, they wire in two resistors which connect to the right points so that the phone will work, and that is all that does. Coming to the front, you've got your set of terminals. Now, that little red component there, that is there to prevent acoustic shock or clicks in the earpiece, which can be unpleasant if it's loud. Now, what else we've got? On the top, get in the right place, we've got a micro switch, and that simply switches on the bell or not. So you can either have it that the bell rings, or you have it with the bell off. How you would know if a call comes in with the bell off, I don't know. So it wasn't really encouraged. A bit further round, we have a set of contacts down there. They're nicely covered over, and as the cradle goes down, those contacts, I don't know whether it shows it, I'm hoping it does. I'm pressing the cradle switch down, and that operates, and that is all part of the operation of the phone. In fact, with the handset off, the bell circuit is connected, but via a capacitor that we've seen on the other side, and that enables AC to pass through it, although in theory it doesn't pass through it. It charges and discharges it, and while doing that you do get an electron flow, and it is that rings the bell. It is a complete block to DC. One of the first things you learn about. Anyhow, I think that has covered that. Any questions, please ask. Oh, before we go, the dial, which has got a cover on it, is the normal post office, GPO, BT, call it what you will, dial that they use, and it was known as a trigger dial. I can show these later. This one's got a cover on, which I'm not going to take off at the moment, but I have got various dials. Suffice to say, it is a trigger dial. On some of the earlier phones you had a slipping cam type dial, which I don't think I've got an example of that. That was the earlier type slipping cam, but it was superseded by the other trigger dial. There's so many different dials used throughout the world, it's quite interesting to see the different types. Anyhow, that is all for this time. As I said before, please subscribe. I'll try and get more videos up. They may be of plants, they may be of some old radios. Some may be in detail like this, others might just be a very quick one. All depends how I feel and what's it. Before I go, I do show a lot of these phones on Flickr. This phone I believe is on Flickr. So you know, if you need a diagram or something like that, and I have got a diagram, or hopefully have a diagram of a particular phone, then have a look on Flickr, and it should help. Anyhow, once again, thank you. Please subscribe, please comment, and many thanks. Thank you.